lighting. That's the other thing we need to work on.
That way.
Can you hit that? Whoa, there we are. We're live. It says we're live. I don't know if I'm live. Welcome, CI family. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate and value your input and feedback after each service and each week. The emails and Facebook pages. For those that don't know, you can go to Facebook at it's the Church of Inclusion. Facebook, and then you can go to the website, which is all new. So there are pages that are like, you're like, what's this? It's not even, it's all under construction, as you can hear from the people around talking. And, but that's called inclusion.church. So it's inclusion.church. There's going to be a very interesting interview going on. I'm going to be being interviewed about my life, and we're going to actually post the entire videos on this the web page and stuff. So keep an eye out for that. But as we start our message, I want to kind of get right into it, not waste time here. In the book of Numbers in the Bible, and there's many places in the organizations and churches and sporting events and military branches where people have gone ahead and done amazing feats, but yet, let's be honest, they everyone else around them had the same chance, but they didn't. And there's a mindset that goes into that. Like, how does a person win the NBA championship? Or how does one man climb up a wall? I think it's called Hacksaw Ridge. He climbed up this wall during World War II and took all of the people that were wounded down and literally carried them down under full fire. It was horrific. How does a guy do that when all the other men, the soldiers, wouldn't do that? And the reason I was thinking of this message this week is I had an actual church member that lives out of state now ask me, could you explain a little more about mindset? Because I hear you talk about it a lot, but I'm just interested in some aspects of it. I said, sure. So this is the story of, and again, I'm not a promoter of any country. Like I'm going to be discussing right now, Israel. I'm not saying Israel's bad. I'm not saying they're good. I'm not saying anything. Stay out of the politics. I'm trying to teach a message from this example of a historical document that the Israelites recounted. Okay. And this is in chapter 13 of the book of Numbers. And it's a positive thinking mindset. And here's what it talked about. It says, Moses told his men to go spy out the land in Canaan. And so they sent out a person from each tribe. There's 12 tribes, so they had 12 men, one to represent each tribe. Now, then what happened is they name all these people's names. I'm not going to read them because, again, I'm just paraphrasing this for us. Then after that, Moses sent them out and said, go and find out everything you can. Get up into the way, into the south, into the mountains, into the sea, what land is like, whether the people who dwell in it are strong or weak, few or many. You needed a report. Okay, and they're talking about moving into this area, so you need to know what's going on. So they go out, 12 men, and they get there. And here's the part that's interesting. When they go through there, they go up in the south, the Hebron, and here's what happens. Pick it up here on verse 23. Then they came to the valley of Eshcol, and they cut down a branch with one cluster of grapes, just one little cluster, right? They carried it between two of them on a pole. That's how big the cluster of grapes was. One cluster is like what you buy in a bag at the store. But the grapes were so gigantic and bountiful. They also brought some of the pomegranates and figs. And it talks about the place and what it was named after. Now, here's the interesting. Now they departed and came back to Moses and all the congregation of the children of Israel in the wilderness. They brought back word to them and to all the congregation and showed them the fruit of the land. They told them how they went to the land. They told them what they saw. But nevertheless, the people who dwell in the land are strong. The cities are fortified. Now, this is important. This is the actual men's report. They told him, again, I want to repeat this. They told him, these are 10 of the 12. And they said, nevertheless, the people who dwell in the land are strong. The cities are fortified and very large. Moreover, we saw the descendants of Anak there. Anak is pretty giants. The Amalekites dwell in the land in the south. The Hittites and the Jebusites, the Amorites dwell in the mountains, and the Canaanites dwell in the sea. So Yeah, the land's great. Everything's amazing out there. It'd be perfect. Except we can't beat these people. We can't fight that guy. They're too huge. They were giants. That was what the guy was starting to say is these are giant people. They're going to squash us. So their mindset was made up. They only saw the bad. When you listen to their report, they literally only saw the negative. Now here is 2 of the 12, and they spoke. A guy named is Caleb. He quieted the people and said, "Let us go up at once and take possession, for we are well able to overcome it." So he said, first off, let's go do this. We got this. We got it. Let's go. The day that the doctors in Providence told me that my cancer had returned, and it was a bad outlook. It was an end sentence kind of a thing. I looked at him and I said, all right, cool. Let's go. What's next? What's our plan? This actual scripture is where that comes from in my mindset. It's an example of the difference between 10 and 2. 10 people said it's not possible, but 2 guys said it's possible. And the 2 guys, I don't want to use the term went on to fame and glory, but they did. And it's just like Michael Jordan. If you ever watched him play basketball, he was amazing. I loved watching him play. So people used to say, well, that's because, it's in his DNA. Is it in his DNA? Go look at his children. Where are they at? Why aren't they famous basketball players? They all put a go into it. They gave it a shot. They had the greatest teacher, right? Their dad. So why did they go and be the same accolades as their father? I'll tell you why. Because they didn't work as hard as Jordan did. They didn't have that mindset. So they say, let us go up at once and take possession. We got this. We'll overcome this. I know the doctor said you can't live, but we're going to overcome this. I understand your mom and dad all died by 65, and so you're freaked out that you're going to die at 65, but guess what? We got this. Then it says, but the men who had gone up with him said, we are not able to go up against the people. They're too strong. And they gave the children of Israel a bad report in the land which they spied out, saying, the land through which we have gone as spies is a land that devours its inhabitants. So now they're just talking nothing but negative. You can't live. Didn't you hear that Bob died of cancer? Oh my God, you're going to die too. It's the same thing. And I like when you look at this, John Maxwell, one of my mentors, he said all 12 had the same external experience. So they all went to the same place. They all saw the same thing. But the internal conclusions of 10 different markedly from the other 2. So same experience, like right now, we're all sitting in this house, and I'm going to look at the perspective of, oh my God, this house needs paint bad. Look at all the marks. I mean, like, wow. And the kitchen floor, geez, that sure could use a new floor. Jesse, what do you see?
A home.
Cam, what do you see in this room right here?
A cleaner home.
A cleaner home. What do you see?
Dents in the paint.
Tents in the paint. You weren't helping me. I was looking for something else.
Actually, I comfort.
I like what Paul said. He says, thank you. I know your goal was to make it more like a home. So in other words, our perspective is what determines it most of the time. And I know some people say, yeah, that's not true. That's not the math. That's not the science. Well, feel free to stand in front of me and look me in the face and say it doesn't work. I'm 47 years old. I'm 4 heart attacks in. I'm 7 heart surgeries in, 2 strokes in, 33 mini strokes in, cancer, tumors, still kicking. Have some hard times lately. Got to go in for another surgery. So what? This is exciting. I'm going to be on top of a mountain in a couple of weeks. Don't know how it's going to happen. I don't, but I have that outlook. And so Joshua and Caleb, they filed the same report, except their report was a positive outlook. And I like what John says about it. He says their disposition, pessimistic perspective, and negative report spread a plague throughout the Israelite camp. Do you ever notice? Give bad information and it spreads like wildfire. Hey, did you guys hear Bob killed himself today? Everyone's going to run around. Oh my God. You hear Bob killed himself? Do you hear Bob killed himself? Oh my God.
I'm sorry, Bob.
But what if Bob got a promotion today? Hey, did you guys hear Bob got a promotion? Oh, yeah. It doesn't spread as fast. Fear spreads fast. But then when you skip down and you look at this, they had this is the two men that had the positive report. They had an enthusiastic, positive outlook. And so when we look at that, and I was on that floor of Providence, and I'm walking out the door, and I had 6 or so doctors in there, and they're giving me the end of the world speech thing, and I'm walking out. I was smiling. I'm like, oh, this is great. It's no biggie. I'm by myself. I'm going to probably die. Oh, well, at least I'll have some hot nurses around me, I guess. I was thinking of anything I could think of. And then I got halfway down and it hit me. I mean, I collapsed. I fell down on my knees. And it took me about a minute to pull myself together. But while in the fire, in there with those doctors, I refused to give in to the bad report. All those doctors said the same thing nonstop. Each one of them, the neurologist, the cardiologist, they're all in there. The urologist, every one of them were just giving nothing but bad, nothing. Like, well, there's just, he wants to send you home with morphine and we can make you comfortable. Well, wait a second. I don't like any of yours. And one doctor in there who has known me for many years and been through with me all the heart attacks, I leaned my head over on him. And because the one doctor, he kind of got mad at me and he goes, you don't realize the severity of what we're saying. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, because I just told you this and the exact reply is, all right, let's go. What's the plan? And that's when I leaned my head on my doctor. I'm like, well, you haven't spoken yet. How about you? And he just smiles and he goes, here, gentlemen, what you don't know about this guy is he has a mindset that is positive. You can always look for the negative, and that's what I wanted to get at. I can walk into a room and point out all the bad stuff. When I was a super in construction, I walk in and my job is to actually look for the bad stuff. I'm literally there to see the carpenters work, the floor guys, bringing our tile guys, bringing the electrical guys. My job was to just, no, that's horrible. No, forget that. You can't do that. But in life, do you ever notice sometimes that's all people talk about was the negative? Hey, do you know that guy JB, he always has to have somebody driving him around practically because I don't know why. It's horrible. That's one outlook on it. Or the other outlook is, man, that's so cool that a guy like JB has enough people who love him and care about him to be able to drive with him from all of his health problems that he's got. That's amazing. That he's not stuck in his house. He doesn't make excuses. He finds a way out. It's all about your perspective, and it's important. And I know a lot of us struggle with this as we were talking this week about struggles. It's important that you understand your mindset will determine your outcome. Your mindset will also determine your altitude. Your attitude will determine your altitude. So if your attitude is in the crapper, I can guarantee you're going to have a crappy day tomorrow. I can guarantee you're going to have a crappy week, and I can guarantee you're going to have a crappy life. But my mindset's not like that. My mindset has been consistently strong for 47 years. And it's not because I'm some special person. That's what I wanted to talk about with Jordan. Jordan's not anything special. He wasn't. He just had a mindset of, I am going to be the greatest ball player ever. George Patton, was he some genius? Not really. He just said, I have a mindset that I'm going to win and overcome it. So whatever obstacle you're going through, I just want you guys to understand the mindset is everything. And there's a lot to the mindset. We can speak a lot about it, but the story of Caleb and Joshua, the 10 out of the 12 report, is important that we understand. Don't believe the report. I don't care what the doctors tell you what your problem is. I don't care what the counselor says about you. I don't care what the state says about you. I don't care what the Department of Corrections says about you. I don't care about any of that. Here's what I care about. What's your mindset? Where are you at in your head? What's your thoughts? And that's how you gotta get to that positive side. I got this. This is good. We can overcome it. I know we're struggling. I know I'm financially having difficulties or whatever your obstacle is. You can't overcome the government, really. There was a few guys that said that back in Boston a couple hundred years ago. They threw off that country and started their own country. People right now with the political realm, they're going ballistic. Oh my God, the Republicans are taking over. The Republicans, the Democrats stayed off and all the world's coming to an end. You know what? The world's been coming to an end from the beginning that it started. How about this? What happened that was beautiful today? What happened that was magnificent today? What happened that was exciting? Find the positive. Does it mean that the negative is not out there? If you know me, you guys know this. I've got some major problems. They screwed up in the surgery. Now I got to go in for another surgery. I could complain all day and be pissed off about it and sit on that couch and not move and get my feet up and make everyone do everything. Why? Why would you do that? I hobble. Okay, so I'm going to hobble. I'm going to hobble around and help whatever I can do. Find the positive. The real bad stuff, it's out there. You can stare at it all day long. You don't even have to turn on the news. You can just open your door and it's usually on your front porch. But how about you do the hard thing? And here's the hard thing. Find the positive. So that's all I want you to think about this week. Find out how you guys can look at the negative and look into it in a positive way. Cece, do you have anything to add, dear? Let me turn over there for those that can't see Cece. She's hiding way over there in the corner.
When you do something, do it well. All right, Johnson. Don't just do it because it's something to do. Start the task, finish it, and make sure you did a good job. Like turn around and look behind you and say, oh, there's another piece of cheese on the counter. Maybe I should just wipe a little bit more. Just simple something. I know we were just cleaning the kitchen, but just don't half-ass. Because you know what? Excuse me, I know it's church, but here's the thing, is that somebody's going to come back after you and get frustrated with you, or you're going to have to turn around and do it again. If you do it the first time, there's no issue. So smile, be happy. Do it right the first time.
We love you guys. Take care. God bless. End live stream. 3, 2, 1. Ended. Maybe. Maybe not.